What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more ska, I think. That is to say, I've been reacting to the Mad Caddies cover album, or cover like tribute album, where they take punk rock songs and convert them to ska, reggae, dub, sort of, you know, all the sort of flavors within that like reggae and ska music Venn diagram or nexus. And while I was going through that, a big friend of the channel, Ryan, mentioned that their music, you know, original music is worth pursuing. And then a friend of the channel also, like Skapunker, that's the username, he mentioned that he's also in agreement that it is definitely a band worth checking out. So I said, you know what, let's do it. So I got an album of theirs from 2003 called Just One More. And indeed, a couple people, I think, mentioned that their earlier stuff, it's like a mixture of kind of jazz, punk, and also like Dixieland, which is interesting. Like, I know Dixieland jazz. I took a college music course on like 20th century African American music styles, so I learned about all different substyles of like blues and jazz and some of these flavors. So I'm familiar with Dixieland jazz, but I've never heard it used in conjunction with a band that has kind of that punk ska sort of flavor. So I don't really know in this context what Dixieland means, and please do inform me if you're familiar with this sort of subgenre. But yeah, it's not a name that I've heard before in this context. So unless we're actually talking Dixieland jazz, which I suppose that's possible, but I feel like that's maybe running in a different direction. So yeah, unless that's the case, I don't quite know what to expect, because again, this album on Discogs is listed as, you know, one of the styles being Dixieland. So I imagine we're going to get some ska flavors. I imagine some of what I've heard on an album that is admittedly 15 years after this. Punk Rocksteady is 2018. This is 2003. So we're going back in time, and it makes me wonder if, you know, if there are different members of the group. I think, you know, bands over time in general have a lot of turnover, or at least most bands do. Ska bands, I feel like it's even more so, because they often have like horn players who come and go, trombonists, trumpets, whatever. Drummers sort of come and go in pretty much all bands. So it makes me wonder if at this phase, 15 years before the album that I've been listening to, if the lineup is a bit different. So do let me know if you're aware of that as well. Nevertheless, we're just going to go through it in order. The first one, and you know, the album overall is called Just One More, as it shows two sort of, you know, traditional gentlemen walking towards an establishment where they sell cocktails. So the phrase "just one more" immediately, you know, it evokes the idea of partying and drinking into the night with friends and so on. And the first track is called "Drinking for 11," which is funny, right? Like, I'm eating for two, or I'm drinking for two, which I guess in that context it would be a little awkward. But I think the idea here is that maybe at this point in the band there's 11 people, so maybe I'm misreading that. But it does suggest a sort of drinking, partying, having fun, and socializing with others sort of feel. So let's find out. This is "Drinking for 11" on the Mad Caddies album Just One More on Fat Records from 2003.
Drinking for a living, that's just what I do. But when I'm not with you, my heart goes to bed.
So now it's already giving me a different sense.
That's just where I'll be.
You're drinking with people maybe to comfort yourself.
I'm already dead.
Maybe not to comfort them.
With one eye tied up on the open road, I feel your presence and I can't let it go. It moves so slowly as it creeps into my mind, steals every breath I have and leaves my heart behind. I wanna know what you feel if you feel it alone. I wanna hear if you still care. The last time I remember you was the last time I wasn't scared. When the night starts fading and the morning comes, I wanna still feel you around. Will you creep into my head again and pick me up off the ground? Once more, do you know what you're fighting for? Gotta try for tomorrow.
Definitely the kind of dub flavor of ska.
Gotta try for tomorrow. You can't see through today. There's nowhere left to stay. Whoa. say. I wanna know what you feel if you're feeling alone. I wanna hear if you still care. The last time I remember you was the last time I wasn't scared. When the night starts fading and the morning arrives, I wanna still feel you around. Will you creep into my head again and pick me up off the ground? Once more, gotta what you're fighting for. Gotta try for tomorrow.
Right?
You can't see through today. Gotta try for tomorrow. You can't see through today. There's nowhere left to stay. Whoa.
It's a really cool
Drinking
tune.
for a living, that's just what I do. When I'm not with you, my heart goes to bed.
Like the sort of keyboard, like organ finish. Yeah, again, really cool tune, and the scale was different than I thought. Indeed, like whether or not the 11 is about being with other people but still feeling lonely and sort of scared. Yeah, it's a song about someone not really being able to get past a relationship. And to be fair, you know, I've had a couple relationships in my life where it took me a while to like realize that, like, you know, it's just not gonna come back. It's like, you know, this person is no longer a part of your life. So I know what that feels like to, like, man, I don't want to think about her. I don't want to think about this, but she finds a way back into my head, and it, like, you know, messes with my psycho-emotional state. So yeah, ultimately it's a song that is both sad and also sympathetic to me, having known like that feeling. So yeah, and the sonic's fantastic. I like the brass. I like the sort of reggae feel, which is, you know, a lot of ska bands that when I think of ska, especially like, you know, a ska band that would be on Fat Records, you know, like an American ska band, I'm thinking of like a little bit more peppy, kind of like a, you know, that fast kind of rhythm guitar. Like, I'm thinking of a different kind of ska. So going through this band's catalog has been a sort of breath of fresh air, in that they have much more of like a dub reggae style of ska sound than a lot of other ska bands I'm familiar with, which is, to be clear, I have no problem with those other ska bands. I enjoy like different flavors of it, and I enjoy that, like, you know, kind of faster, more peppy style. I also enjoy the like kind of gritty style of like ska punk, like Operation Ivy, of course, being my favorite example of that. But yeah, I got room for different flavors of ska, but I really do enjoy their kind of reggae approach to it. So this should be a cool journey. Do let me know what you think of this opening tune. I will see you next time. Peace.